Boy, oh boy, was that ever a tough one to watch. The Toronto Raptors somehow lose to the very depleted Memphis Grizzlies, a team that was missing many key players. The Raptors were actually big favorites at home in this one, and they dropped this one 108 to 100. I'm going to talk about it and tell you what the Raptors should do from here. If y'all can be so fair, please hit a like on the video. And also, please subscribe to the channel for more Raptors content just like this. So, guys, we know the Raptors are in a rebuild. We know they're not expected to be good for at least the rest of this season. And we know things are going to get worse before they get better. And boy, oh boy, have things gotten worse. I mean, this is as bad as it gets. I basically pin this as the Raptors' second worst loss, like right behind the Pistons one, in my opinion. This was a bad loss by the Toronto Raptors. I mean, they seemingly came out with no energy. They were sloppy. They were just careless with the basketball. There was some pretty bad basketball on display here for the Raptors. They had 17 total turnovers. They shot at only 44% from the field, 34% from three. And, they just got absolutely dominated in this one by Jaren Jackson Jr., who finished with 27 points. Raptors still without Jakob Poeltl. His missed presence in the Raptors starting lineup continues to hurt the team. And I mean, in a game like this, Jaren Jackson Jr., he went to work, as this was all Grizzlies. The Raptors never led in this game, guys. This was a wire-to-wire win for Memphis, as the Grizzlies led by as many as 19 points. And like I said, we saw some pretty bad basketball on display from the Raptors. In the first half, the Grizzlies started off, strong. And then the second quarter, Raptors trying to battle back. But in the third quarter, Grizzlies separated themselves. And the Raptors did make things interesting in the fourth. But at that point, I mean, this was just all Memphis, especially when they got out to that big lead. As you look at the Grizzlies missing a lot of key contributors, obviously Ja's out for the season. Steven Adams has been out for the season. He had that surgery at the beginning of the year. No Desmond Bane, many guys out. And the Grizzlies, they got 27 from Jaren Jackson. Luke Kennard was unconscious this season from three. He had 5 3-pointers, 19 points. Williams Jr. had 18. And you look at the Raptors, it was just Barrett and Barnes who shouldered the load in this one. I mean, RJ Barrett, very efficient. Gotta really like what you saw from him. 12-18 from the field, had 29 points, 9 rebounds. And then Scotty Barnes did struggle a bit again from the field, going 6 of 14. But he did get to the foul line, was, aggressive, getting to the charity stripe, 9 and 9 from the free throw line, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, 6 blocks. I mean, Scotty Barnes, he did quietly put together a nice stat line, but then he did have 5 turnovers. And that's the issue that continues for Barnes, right? He's got to clean up those turnovers. Sometimes he just tries to force the issue way too much. And obviously, he still has a lot more growth in his game. And you look at this one, Jonte Porter had to leave the game with a poked eye. And then, he did not return after just 6 minutes of action. Then you look at Quickly, struggled mightily from the field. Emmanuel Quickly had a rough outing, guys. 8 points. Did have 10 assists, which is nice to see because Quickly continues to rack up the assists. But he did have 4 turnovers, only 3 of 13 from the field. And then Gary Trent Jr., look, I'm going to keep this as simple as possible. I know a lot of people want to see Gary Trent Jr. back, and they see him a part of this new Raptors young core, but I beg to differ. I mean, Gary Trent Jr., it would be in the Raptors' best interest to try to get something for him before the deadline. He's an unrestricted free agent, and he's just such a streaky player. He'll have an outing like he had against Miami, but then after that, what is it giving you? He's just really on or really cold, and, that's not going to help this Raptors team when all he brings is a shooting and offense, and when he's off, he's off. So just another tough outing from Trent Jr., and then you look at the Raptors bench. Boucher, that's another name that's been in the rumor mill. 5 points in 12 minutes. He's likely going to be dealt before the deadline. That's what Blake Murphy said. Bruce Brown, another guy who's likely to be traded before the deadline. And, I mean, he should. Reportedly, Bruce Brown is getting a lot of interest. The Raptors have said that their asking price is a quality player and a first-round pick. And we could see a contending team get desperate and bring in Brown. But, yeah, Brown had 7 points in 21 minutes. Schroeder, another name who we could see be dealt by the Raptors. So there's a lot of players on this team right now that might not be Raptors past the deadline. There's still so much to sort out with this team. And then Grady Dick, he did play 50 minutes, but he did not score, had 3 rebounds, was a +5. So, I mean, you look at the reality of the situation, guys, for the Toronto Raptors, not going to sugarcoat it. I mean, this was as awful of a game to watch. And, this is a team that is going to struggle big time before things start to turn around for them. And, what I'll say is this. I know there's a lot of people that, don't want to watch losing basketball, and I get it. And they want to see this team obviously fight and contend and compete and try to maybe get a play-in spot. But you look at the current landscape of the standings right now. With the loss, the Raptors officially have the 6th worst record in the league. And I mean, we just saw a Raptors team lose to a very bad Grizzlies team. Like, if the Raptors played against anybody else, not named the Grizzlies, a decent team at that, a middle of the pack team, they would have got absolutely blown out of the water in this one. So this team is clearly not good enough now to attempt to try to fight for the play-in. So in my opinion, the plan is simple. I mean, it should be simple, and the motive for the Raptors should be simple, and that is they should embrace this tank. I mean, a team's never going to come out and say they're tanking, but you look at what the Raptors are faced with here, their schedule's not going to get any easier. This was supposed to be their gimme win of the stretch they're about to partake in. I mean, they got the Clippers on Friday, going to be playing very tough competition. And, I know the Grizzlies are bad, but the Raptors, they got the 6th worst record right now in the NBA, guys. And their 2024 first-round pick is top 6 protected. So if the Raptors finish with the 6th worst record in the NBA, and, their pick falls 1 through 6, they'll keep that pick. And at this point, I know people want to say, oh, let it convey this season because the draft's not good, and, play it out next season, because that's what would happen. If the Raptors pick basically is 7, 8, 9, 10, etc., it goes to the Spurs, and then they finally gave that pick away to the Spurs. But, I mean, with the Raptors being this bad, it doesn't make sense, or it doesn't seem logical that they're going to be, competing here and getting wins. So in a draft that already is going to have the Raptors be busy with 3 picks in it, might as well just, keep the pick, try to keep it at least, and have a 4th pick in this 2024 NBA draft. Because I believe if the Raptors finish with the 6th worst record, because honestly, at this point, actually, you know what? I mean, the Blazers, as it stands right now, they're only 3 games back of the Raptors. So I was going to say, I don't think anybody's going to catch the Raptors out of these bottom-feeding teams, but the Blazers are only 3 games back. So if the Raptors do finish with the 5th or 6th worst record, if they do finish with the 6th worst record, Josh Lewenberg reported that there's about a 45.8% chance that they actually keep that pick and it actually falls number 6. So you might want to take those odds, especially, you look at this product right now. It is a developing one. It isn't a good one. Still needs a lot of work. And like I said, the schedule ain't getting any easier for this Raptors team. So this could very well, signal the Raptors' approach. They got 3 days off now to think about it and really, analyze what they want to do here. But this could very well signal the Raptors' approach to tank and, play that game, because you just lost against the Grizzlies, a game in which you were favored by 7. You got a bunch of guys on the rumor mill, bunch of guys who are probably going to get dealt still on this team. So, yeah, we'll see what the Raptors do and how they look from here on out. But just a very, very bad loss to the Grizzlies, however you put it. I mean, this was a game that I did not expect the Raptors to lose. And I was actually pretty surprised how bad they looked in this game, because, man, like, that was just a Grizzlies team, shorthanded as can be, who took it to the Raptors for all 48 minutes. So we'll see how the Raptors go from here. I mean, they're going to have a couple days off. Like I said, they'll be in action next on Friday against Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers. But Raptors Nation, let me know your thoughts of this game. Let me know what you want to see the Raptors do from here. Hit a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. That's it for me. It's Lucas signing off. Until next time, stay safe.